Hello and welcome to my YouTube platform. I'm a lot more humbled this morning because the Black Stars have been humbled by the United States of America. Um, Welcome you once more. Kindly subscribe and put your notification button on, and leave your comment. Leave your comment. This is important. If you were Ghanaian and you chance on this video, leave a comment. If you know Ghanaian, you have Ghanaian interest at heart when you chance on this video, leave your comment. See, it's instrumental to know that our Black Stars are underperforming. The performance keeps coming down. It's deteriorating, and I'm not mincing words. These are the realities. Um, Listen, I'm reacting to the post-match press conference of the coach Chris Hughton, the Black Stars versus the United States of America game. There are some questions that the coach answered to. Brilliant Ghanaian journalist, brilliant up there, asking relevant and all-important questions. Kudos to you, colleagues. Was sweet, the kind of interview and the questions you asked Chris Hughton. The first question that I feel the first response from the coach I want to react to is he the right man for the job? And he says he's the right man for the job. I think that's a lie. Forgive me. I feel it's a lie because Chris is not the right man for this job. I imagine if this is Otoado. I imagine if this is CK Akono. I imagine if this is Milovan Rajevac. I imagine if this is James Kwesiapia, who was in the helms of affairs and was unable to grind result up to this point in time. And he's asked if he's the right man for the job. What is going to be the reaction of a lot of Ghanaians? I feel he's not the right man for the job. I feel he does not know the ins and outs of the Black Stars. I am sorry. I am the person who did that video. I spoke about in my earlier video when the AFCON draw was done that I feel Chris Hughton was the right man for the job, and I explained a lot of things which I believe that because the modern game was taking a different twist and the 4-2-3-1 was the right formation with a crop of players we have, and of course a lot of them at their club side. That's the experiment the coaches are doing there. I felt that Chris Hughton would be able to do a lot for us. Already Ghana is a defensive minded footballing nation when we go into tournament, but listen, we've gotten some crop of players that I feel that when you want to charge on the offensive and rely on the quick counter break, that would be very relevant with the likes of Jordan Ayew. He delays on ball a bit, but he gathers a lot of players onto himself and give crucial passes. What he does at Crystal Palace, I feel that the Antoine Semenyo's, the Mohamed Kudus, these guys are the right guys to play this. The Naki Williams, they are the right guys to play this kind of approach, this kind of system and tactics. He's asked if he's the right man for the job, and I say no. Out of 7 games, you have 7 shots on target, and you feel you are the right man for the job? Listen, Ghana Football Association. Chris Hughton needs to be sacked. He needs to go. He can't do this job. He's not the right man for the job. He needs to leave the post. He will not leave by himself. That's why we need to sack him. He keeps experimenting. A 4-3-3 formation, somewhat against Liberia. He comes back to a 4-2-3-1 formation, and he's not gotten his hands around this team, even though we have young, exuberant, very good football players. It is, listen, these boys, in our local dialect, boys no omon say, players na omon partners no omon say. It's not as if the players aren't doing. It's not as if they are not good players. Because for the national team, I indicated in my earlier video, the national team has the opportunity to look at performing players out there and bring them into the Black Stars and try and use your system to make them gel. Yeah. It's why when you get good crop of players, you can and you're a very smart coach, you can get them to give you results. We've seen that. The examples are there to cross-check. The examples are there to cross-check. He asks if he's the right man for the job. He says he's the right man for the job. 7 shots in 7 games. We are deteriorating, and the only teams we can beat is Liberia and what have you. Listen. I mean, when Jordan was asked the question of if the boys would gel and they would need time, and he says they would need time. That's the answer Jordan can give. That's the answer. That's the answer. Because even though there are a lot of very young players in the setup, USA has a lot of young players, a lot of players who are inexperienced because they faded out into a new generation and are trying to give. I mean, where was Ria? I mean, where was these boys? The names I can mention on and on. They are not resounding names in the football annals, in the football space. But these are boys who are playing according to a certain system and style of play. Chris does not need time. He needs to go. He does not need time. The team keeps sinking, and that's the problem. It's not a matter of who is more Ghanaian than who, or a matter of who is backed by what. Listen, the reason why I think Chris is underperforming and the situation cannot change is that they asked him, what can you do to change this current situation we are in? And he's looking up to the World Cup qualifier. That's a crucial space. Now listen, Ghana is known in the world for its World Cup exploits, not for our African Cup of Nations display or what have you. We went through the World Cup and we were causing upset. We went to our second World Cup and we were stamping authority on big national teams that have been in the space for a longer period of time. And that's what we were doing. And he wants to experiment with the World Cup qualifier next month. No. I'm sorry, Chris. It's not true. You can't be experimenting with Ghana. Ghana is a huge footballing nation. Ghana is a football nation that demands result. Yesterday, I could see the number of people in town awake, staying up to watch this game, even though they knew that game against Mexico was not really excellent. But you look at the Mexico performance and you put it to the United States of America game performance, and you can see that rightly there's no change. Nothing has happened. It's the same style of play. It's the same lackadaisical movement on the pitch of play. It's the same passing rhythm. Is the same wrong passing rhythm. Is the same game that we can swing 4 or 5 passes to advance. In the game. And Chris is not the man for the job. I have this strong feel. Chris Hughton can't do the Black Stars job. And the journalists at the presser kept asking that relevant question, that do you feel you know the team enough? In other words, are you still the right man for the job? And he keeps insisting, and I'm surprised that he's a coach that has been in mainstream premium football and knows that when things aren't going right, I have to put a job down and leave, and he's not putting the job down. He still feels he's the right man for the job. He has not found his right formation. Is he trying to search for the right formation? That is experiment. We don't do experiment with the Black Stars. Listen, the reason why I feel Chris should not be talking about some of these things is that he was with the team when, Chris has been in Ghana, and he admitted he's been in Ghana for a long time. When people in higher positions were wanting him to be the Black Stars head coach, I feel it is a clear opportunity he took to watch the Black Stars. He was with the teams while he was with the team in Qatar to study the boys, the ins and outs. If you want something, you try to rehearse. You put yourself in the shoe, even though you are not there yet, but you put yourself in that shoe and try and pretend as if you are there. And paint the picture and ask yourself, if I'm the person in this position, what would I be doing? What would be my style of play? What would this player fit in? What is going to be? You need to be asking relevant questions. And when it says, I feel the players do not see him as that top-notch coach that will lead them anywhere. Look at Jordan's mannerism. All respect to Jordan Ayuba. We read these things too, and I'm not saying the mannerisms of Jordan was wrong at that presser, but you can see there's no confidence that the players are having in this coach. They do not have any inch of confidence in this coach. Not an inch. And get him out. Today is not the day to mention statistics. It is the day to talk about what we have seen so far over the span, and if he can do the job, Chris Hughton cannot do this job. But what he has done, I commented on an earlier video on what he has done in the past with his club side in his playing days, and I felt he was the man for the job because I felt he's been in Ghana, he's been with the team to the World Cup, he's been with the players accorded him some magnitude of respect, and the players knows his flow, and he will not be new to the team. And he's talking about some players are inexperienced in the setup. And what are you doing? You were with the setup a long time ago. You had the opportunity to read this team from a distance. And you come giving us excuses upon excuses upon excuses because you can speak good English? No, coach. Listen, for me, we don't even need somebody who come and tell us proper English. Oh. It's about what job you can do for the national team. This is our biggest brand in Ghanaian football. And it is why you must guard it with all the pride and all the experience and all the tactics you have within. And is Chris doing that? The big answer is no. What is still doing? What is he still doing at the post? He needs to be sacked. He needs to be sacked. Because he will not leave the post. He will not leave. We are going into World Cup qualifier. Ghana needs to be at the next World Cup. And this kind of play and exhibition cannot grant us that zeal to go through to that World Cup. Of course, because we were beaten by the likes of Angola and what's that name? Is it Central African Republic or Comoros or something? These countries were beating Ghana. These countries are beating Ghana. It's just... Thank you for sticking to this video. Leave your comment. What you also think as a Ghanaian. Leave it in the comment box. Subscribe. Let's always have these reactions. It's quite important. It only gives us the opportunity to address important issues, to share our views and opinions, and we are entitled to it. Chris does not need time. He can't do this job. He's not doing anything. Do you see any difference in the Black Stars since he took over? Do you see any difference? Then he says he has qualified Ghana to the African Cup of Nations, and it's a positive. Listen, in my last video, I told you that Ghana is about the third or even not the fourth nation that has qualified most, that have had the most appearances at the African Cup of Nations. For Ghana, if you qualify us to the African Cup of Nations, you've done nothing. We need to win that cup, but with the kind of play you are playing, we cannot win the cup. We cannot. Because it's not showing. It is not showing. Thank you guys. I appreciate you watching this video. Just put your notification button on, like, comment, subscribe. All important. Yeah, I'll see you in my next reaction. But Chris Hughton is not the man for the job. Know that. I want to put that thing on your mind repeatedly. I know he's not the man for the job. I'm sure a lot of our football governing authorities or let's meet in my next video. Thank you.